Okay, guys, hey. Okay, so we're back. This is part 2 of episode 5. It's because we just got a lot to cover, so hopefully you just finished part 1. So we're just going to kind of dive right in, okay? So I told you that they did finally find a cocktail that worked for me, but it took forever. And this was during the day. And so during the day, of course, I have JC, who's my morning nurse, and I see her every 2 hours. And I also have Jordan, who's my morning MA, my medical assistant, like I said, who was charged, of course, with doing my vitals and checking to see if I need anything, and also helping me with pee-pee time. So as I told you in the first episode, Jordan and I talked to her about being asked out, which was pee-pee time, right? And so the first time she helps me out of the bed, I asked her, I said, do I have a tail? And she was like, what? And I'm like, no, girl, I'm serious. Do I have a tail? I cannot have a tail. And I told her about what had been happening in the, with me just basically taking the mat and the extra sheet to the bathroom with me via my butt cheeks, because I was just going to carry it that way, because that's what happens every time I get up off the bed. And she is about to piss herself because she's trying not to laugh because she's trying to be professional, but she is just, you can tell, she wants to laugh so hard, but she's trying to be professional. And I said, girl, you can let it out. It's fun. It's fine. This shit's funny. It is funny. It's ridiculous. This is what it is. I said, so every time you help me up out of this bed to get to the bathroom, you got to make sure I don't have a tail. Super important. So anyway, this was how we bonded, right? So this goes on all day. When they finally find a cocktail, finally find something that will help me have the pain that's manageable. I was in so much pain, I couldn't eat. Like, I couldn't drink. They were making me drink my water because I was trying to get my water down because I was thirsty, but I was in so much pain. All I wanted to do was lay there and cry. And it was rough, y'all. I'm not even kidding. And the stuff they were giving me was enough to kind of take the edge off when I would first get it. But when it would start, and every 2 hours, like they're hitting it every 2 hours, it just was not lasting that long like it's supposed to. And so it was miserable. That part was miserable. I tried to, JC and Jordan did their very best to help me, kind of make that a little bit easier. So about 4:30, 5 o'clock, I think it was about 5:30 in the evening, they're like, well, we're not going to discharge you. You're going to have to stay an extra night because we can't, there's no way I'm sending, this is what my surgeon says, there's no way I'm sending you home if you can't walk out of here like you walked in. Like, your pain needs to be managed, and this just isn't, this is bad. And so when they finally found something, it was late. And so they kept me for another night, and Maddie, my youngest daughter, who was getting ready, was packed, and her boyfriend are getting ready to move across the country, to go far across the country, my baby, to college for her second year of college, and his third year. And I'm already struggling with that, y'all, right? And so I thought I was going to be home and drooling on myself when she was going to be passing through from Utah into Wyoming on her way across the country. And I would at least be home drooling on myself to see her. Now I'm in this bed and I still, I can't go anywhere. I'm stuck, right? Well, they came to see me because her and her boyfriend were at his parents' house there in Utah. So she came to visit me. They both did that night. And it was super sweet. Like they came to visit me and they brought me some, I was on some good pain medication, some good cocktail at this point. So some of this part's a little dicey, but I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that they had brought me ice cream. I'm pretty sure they brought me ice cream, which was super sweet. And I'm pretty sure I ate it and liked it. And it was so sweet of them to do that. I think like frozen yogurt or ice cream or it might have been Baskin Robbins. I don't even remember, you guys, because I was high. I'm not even gonna lie. They found some good stuff finally. But she came to see me, and I remember we had conversation, and we were talking about her trip and making sure, you know, that she was packed and everything. And she still had to stop at our house on the way. The next day, she was going to stop at our house on her way the next day to pick up all the rest of their stuff. Okay. Because I still had all the rest of her stuff here at our house. And we talked about that and everything. And then they went to go because it was getting late. And I still had to eat dinner. And I was so busy talking that I was, you know, missing my time to get dinner. And they had to get on the road because they had a lot of stuff to do. And 45 minutes back to where they were supposed to be to finish packing the car and just the whole thing, right? And it was a hard situation just because I was struggling with her leaving. So anyway, they go, and she tells me, Mom, I'm going to come and see you tomorrow before we go. And Zach, her boyfriend Zach's like, we're not going to have time for that. And she looked straight at him and was like, oh, we're going to make time for that. I was like, that's right. My baby girl's coming back to see me because I wasn't going to be discharged till the next day. So anyway, and she left. And of course, so that night, while she was there, and, you know, and after 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, the shift changed again. So again, I have Kevin and I have Sharon. So even though they were surprised to see me because they didn't think I was going to be there another night, I was happy that it was them again because, you know, they made me feel comfortable and really comfortable and fun. And so Kevin comes in, and the first thing I said to him was, did you talk to your wife about the whole running thing? And he started laughing. He goes, I did. And I wasn't sure that I believed you at first, but she said, no, she's right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She probably cut some time off and stopped injuring herself in the process. And he couldn't even get it out of his face without laughing. I said, no, I'm not even kidding. Serious. And so we had a conversation about that and our families and stuff. And so, like I said, we bonded a little bit, and we have got Sharon back, who's helping me get asked out to the bathroom and making sure I don't have a tail and all that. And so that's how my night went a lot smoother that night, just because, you know, I had medication that actually worked, which was awesome. So the next morning, shift change again, and then there's again, I have Jordan and JC. JC being my nurse, Jordan being the MA. Well, Maddie comes back on her way out of town, and this is before Jason was coming back to get me, because I told him they're going to discharge me today, but discharge can take a long time. So it's not going to be until at least this time. So no rush, because of course we're like an hour and a half away. So Maddie, my daughter, comes to see me on her way and out of town, and I'm having a conversation with her, and I'm telling her the things that, you know, mom tells a kid, they're, you know, her baby when she's leaving. And I'm struggling, and it's hard, and I'm crying, and she's crying. And of course we've got, you know, my nurse JC's in there, and Jordan's in there, and you know, the door's open, so other nurses are, you know, coming back and forth in and out and everything, and so they're hearing it, and there are other people that are on the team. My physical therapist was in there, and they're hearing this conversation that I'm having with my daughter, and how we're crying, but we're trying not to be obvious about it. I mean, it's not loud, but it's obvious that there's some distress, and that this is a very emotional moment, right? Because I'm not ready for her to go. And she's very ready to go, right? But as far as going and getting out and seeing something new and going to school, but she's not ready to leave her mother because she's worried about me, right? And so this whole it was this awful emotional moment, but a good one, very bittersweet. And so we're having this conversation so everybody can hear this, and they see us, and we're tearing up, and I look over, And they're tearing up as I'm like, because they, you know, like, it's, you can't help but be emotional, I think, but from watching this and listening to it. And Maddie wasn't there very long because her boyfriend was in the car, because they bringing their cats with them across the country. So that was, I'm sure, an amazing trip, with 2 cats howling. Anyway, and so he couldn't leave the cats. They had to come one at a time to see me, and say goodbye. But, as she's getting ready to leave, I can't even hug her. I can't even hug my baby goodbye because I can't get this arm up. I can't have anything touch this area here at all. So basically all I can do is take her little head and just give her a little kiss on the forehead. And that was it. Like, that's all I can do. Can't even hug her. Which made me even more emotional and most sad because I said, I'm sorry, I just want to hug you. And I can't. And then, so we're crying again. Everybody's, I mean, they're all teared up. And so she goes to leave as she's going out the door. And I hear my nurse, JC, who leans over and she says to her, she asks her, hey, well, she puts her arm around her, Maddie. She puts her arms around Maddie like this. And she says, you want some ice cream for the road? And Maddie said, no, we're okay. But that gesture was just the sweetest, like, that will always have a special place in my heart that she did that. And they were all a mess, all of them. Any staff that saw that was a mess. And so one at a time, here they come, you know, trying to comfort me because they could see that this was once Maddie left and I was just a mess. And so they're trying to comfort me and I'm like, okay, you know, I'm trying to pull myself together. So after Maddie leaves, here my husband comes, right? And he brings one of my best friends, Allison, to help because, well, I need people to help get me mobile into the car, help me into the house, help me up into my room, like just a mess. And so Allison came along too. And it takes several hours to get discharged, y'all. Like, as you guys, anybody that's ever been in the hospital and you've had surgery and you've been there even for a day, it takes a while to get all this stuff done. And plus, I have to talk to all these people. This physical therapist comes in and wants to make sure that I can walk up so many steps. Like, they have to make sure that you can function even at the very minimal function once you leave there, and that your pain is controlled enough and is managed enough to be tolerable, to be able to rest and at least get to the bathroom and at least be able to do this, or at least be able to get into your bed, you know, kind of stuff like that. So I had a lot of people to talk to before we were discharged. Now that my pain is managed and they found a good cocktail, I'm high, like super high, okay? And like, it's a mess how high I am, okay? And they get a wheelchair. They bring a wheelchair in because I could not possibly walk out of here. I mean, even if I could, they wouldn't let me, but I couldn't possibly. Like, my legs did not work. So they get a wheelchair. Finally, I'm ready to go. Here we go, okay? And so we're going, and I get all my stuff, right? Jay's got my bag of stuff. Now, like I said, I'm high, so I have bits and pieces of stuff here. But there are some things that are very, very clear that I remember very clearly. So we end up taking the staff elevator, which was close down to where Valley parking was, so Jason just go get the car and bring it to me. So it's me and Jason and Allison and the guy pushing the wheelchair. And I'll be honest, I don't remember his name. I wish I did because he was a nice kid. And in the corner of the staff elevator was this lady who obviously worked there, and she had scrubs on and she's standing in the corner. And we're in staff. We just get in the elevator. And I'm in my chair, of course, and I'm like, you know what? And I just say, wow, you know what? I really feel like I've left something behind here. It was a joke. Okay. Allison caught my joke. And she's like, yeah, 25 pounds of tits. So the lady in the corner is now appalled. And I mean like verbally, physically appalled. Like she's like, oh, and backs herself into the corner. And Alice and I, we're just we are laughing. So, I mean, I'm laughing. She's laughing. The kid that's pushing my wheelchair is laughing. Jason's rolling his eyes like, oh, God. You know, because I can't stop myself. And this woman is appalled. Like, if she could crawl up and out of the elevator at this point, she could have. Because she just, like, she was so appalled to even be in there with us. Because, I don't know if it's because Allison said tit instead of breast. I don't know. But anyway, I thought the shit was funny. And so did she. So, and even just thinking about it now and talking about it is absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. This woman was not having it. Okay. It was bad. Okay. So anyway, where are we at? I'm going to stop right here. And get some notes together just so I can kind of finish up for you guys, because there's still a little bit more left to go. And then I'll kind of go over like how things are going, what my treatment level is going to be, and where I'm at now. Okay, that'll be the next part 3. And so give me just a few minutes. I'm gonna put that together, and I'll be right back, you guys. Okay.